Hello, this is Diane and I'm back to sew the signatures into the book. I've been doing tutorial type of videos today and I just realized that I didn't have my camera on video. It was on just taking regular pictures, but it was recording, so I'm hoping that the video will be okay. I don't understand why, but I think I've done that before. Done a video when it wasn't actually set on video. So we'll see. See if we actually have videos from earlier today. Anyway, these are plain, completely unembellished journals except for some lace on the front of the signature, of each signature. So here, let me show you. This is the second book. We were working through the first book. This is the second one, and here is the fabric I used. And I just used a vintage gray rickrack there. And on the inside, I just put this paper punched paper. So all the signatures are done in here too. She gave me specific papers for each book. Must be she was matching papers up to the recipient. And I also added some book corners to each book because the corners were rather shabby. Jennifer did get back to me and she said it's perfectly fine to post videos of these books because the recipients of the books don't watch YouTube. So we're good to go. So I can upload those videos if they turned out okay. So what I've done here is I cut a piece of paper 3 inches wide because that's how wide the spine is on the books. And then I cut it to the height of the signatures. I'm folding the paper in half vertically, and now horizontally, and that will give me the center. And I will just put a little dot there, right in the center. And now to get the other lines, since I have 3 signatures, I'm folding that edge into the center. You could do this all with a ruler. This is so much quicker. And then fold this edge into the center. And then mark where the horizontal line intersects. Now we have the center hole for each of the 3 signatures. This ruler is by X-Acto. Tim Holtz has one also, I believe. But it has the 0 in the middle, and then it has a 1 on each side and a 2, etc. So you can get the center and then work your way out. So all I have to do is line the 0 up on that center dot there. And I want my holes to be at 1.5 and 3 inches. That's what I usually do. I use a 5-hole signature stitch, pamphlet stitch. Some people use 3 holes. I use 5. Makes the stitches shorter. For my domestic arts books, because they were taller, I did a 2 and a 4 inch hole and not 1.5 and 3. I just spread it out a little further. But in most cases, it's 1.5 and 3. Okay, now I'm going to take my piercer. This is a Tim Holtz tool. Just make a hole in the paper, kind of wiggle it around to make it a larger hole so I can make a pen mark through it. I've done a tutorial on this before. I hope I'm not too loud. My face is right next to my camera. My arms are around the tripod. I just realized I'm probably yelling at you. Anyway, I've done tutorials on this before, I know, and lots of other people have. Now I'm just going to take a pen. I'm going to continue with the book we've been working on. I'm going to write top on this so that I have it facing the same way for all of the signatures. I'm going to lay this on the spine, the inner spine, and make sure it's centered. And then I'll just make a mark with the pen through those holes. They're not showing up very well. Maybe the holes aren't big enough. There, I can see them better. And I'll use the same paper for the other book. Sometimes the way the dots fall onto the pattern of the fabric, they're hard to see. Okay. Well, I'll just take my poker again and poke holes. I know enough to keep my finger, the finger that's underneath, I know enough to keep it out of the way. You can lay this on a book. I do have a book that I've used, like just a block of book pages, no cover, and lay it on there and just poke. I'm not sure where that book is, but I usually just do it this way. I've never poked myself yet, and I probably shouldn't say that. And if you laid it on a book, there would be less stress on the construction of your book if you just laid it down and poked it. Now, I am going to take a signature. I don't have to remove anything from the pockets because there's nothing in the book. This is an unembellished book. The only pocket this has is where I folded this paper up and glued it as a pocket. So this is going to be pretty simple to prepare. I just put a clip on it here. Here. And that should be good enough. Now I take my paper again and fold it so that I'm just going to use the center markings. Put it so the top is at the top. Kind of center this. This is slightly longer than the signature, so I make sure it's got the same amount hanging off on both ends. And again, you can lay this on a book if you want to. This is thick, heavy paper. But my poker goes through. It's a little more difficult than usual. It's going to be hard down here where I have this pocket folded up. I'll take my cord, which is this waxed cord, which I got at Walmart in the jewelry making section, and I'm going to measure 3 times the signature and then cut a little extra, and this is going to be way more than I need, but I'd rather have, see, this is what I did the last time and I had this much cord left over, but the cord is cheap enough, it's okay. And I'd rather have too much than run short. Sometimes I may want it to hang longer, like hang down here and put beads on it, or tie it in a bow. So now I just take my book and my signature, put the needle through the center hole, and then in the center hole of the first signature here, I didn't poke the center. Now let's try it. And just go up. You don't have, it doesn't matter if you go up or down. Make sure you don't pull this out. I've done that before. And then I went up, so I'm going to go up again. If I went down, I would go down again. See, that's a little bit loose, so you make sure you pull in there and make sure it gets tight. Now I'm going to go back down. Back down to the same hole where I came up before. I'm going to bypass the center hole and go down to the next hole. I'll tighten that up again. Okay. Go back down to the bottom one. Sorry, that was one of those times I had to hold it closer to my face. Back up to this one. And now I'll go to the center one. Sorry. Had a good view of my thumb there, didn't you? Okay. Gonna come up. Someone's texting me. So I come up and I have this thread on this side of the center thread and this one on this side. And I'm just going to tie it in a good solid knot. And I'm going to leave these threads. Jennifer can tie it again, or she can glue some, I've got glue on my fingers, she can glue some little punch outs here, or she can cut them short. Or leave them the way they are. Alright, so that's how I do it, and then I'll go ahead and do the second signature in the second row of holes, and the third signature in the third row of holes. This book is, it has a lot of room. I gave it a 3-inch spine because it was quite chunky. But she's going to add decorations, and that will probably fill it out. So I had to make sure she had room. So I'm just going to continue sewing the signatures in, and when I come back, I'll just do a quick flip through of both books. I'll be back. Bye-bye.